Joining us on the phone lines now, as he does each and every Thursday, is Tom E. Curran. Tom E. Curran with WEEI Afternoons is brought to you by Drains by James, Eastern Mass's top provider of drain and sewer cleaning and repair, and by Wise Snacks. No one does crunchy, salty, or cheesy better than Wise Snacks. Tom E. Curran, how does it feel to be back from the Super Bowl? Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Good. I love the enthusiasm you exhibit on some of those reads, Andrew.
Oh, thank you. Is that sarcasm or is that legitimate?
That was legit.
No.
Thank you.
Sell it.
Well, I'm not worn down and jaded yet. I'm new to this whole hosting
It'll happen.
one read ads kind of role, Tommy Curran. Speaking of guys in new roles, and what is Stretch's name? Streicher? Is that how you say it? Mike Vrabel's right-hand man?
Yeah. Yep.
I was talking to somebody yesterday that said to me that Stretch is kind of a combination of Ernie Adams and Berge Nigerian. And I'm wondering what your knowledge base is on Stretch, what you've seen from him, if anything at all, to start, and how key a figure you think he'll be in terms of setting the culture, both football and non-football.
Yeah, I haven't encountered him.
Okay.
So I can't speak to that. I thought he was more of a Bears than an Ernie Adams, but they will need an Ernie Adams since my belief is that the team will be moving on from the fellow who was doing it was Rothstein.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know if they're moving on from him because he's not a coach. We haven't heard that, so it's worth checking on Evan Rothstein. But, yeah, I just thought he was more of a Bears guy, to be honest with you, Andy. I didn't know otherwise.
Me too. And so, okay, but keep an eye out for that as you do some sniffing.
Eyes are peeled.
Okay.
It's a great place to start.
Okay.
Hey, TC, good to talk to you, bud. I'm curious,
Hey,
you watched this game, and, I mean, basically over at halftime. But did you glean anything from this game? I mean, any trends, anything stand out to you that, you look at both of these teams, how they're constructed, the styles of quarterback play? What were some of your bigger takeaways from this last Super Bowl?
I think a lot of it for us locally centered around, what does it mean for the Patriots dynasty vis-a-vis the Chiefs, and what does it mean for Mahomes' pursuit of Brady? And I wrote a long column on Monday just saying that I said it during last week that the pursuit of Brady by Mahomes is very much a Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus pursuit. You forget that Tom Brady in 2007 had still been dismissed going into that season as a system quarterback. He gave him Randy Moss, and they went undefeated in the regular season, and he threw for an NFL record 50 touchdowns. Then in 2010, he's the unanimous MVP coming off a bad year, and they lose a bad game. Yeah. 2006, they're, up 21-6 and gag and should have won. I mean, when you look at the number of times that the Patriots could have won Super Bowls, Brady could have won 12. So Mahomes is phenomenal. He is in the top 5 already, but Brady never got blown out in a Super Bowl. He really didn't even get blown out in the divisional game. Like, say, for instance, take a Joe Montana. He lost the game 49-3 in the divisional playoffs. And the following year, 1987, he got benched in the third quarter in favor of Steve Young in a game against the Vikings. Elway, he got his ass handed to him repeatedly in the Super Bowls he was in. So the point that I took away immediately in looking at the game was you got one guy so far above everybody at the top of Everest, and everybody else was at halfway base camp. As for the teams in the game and what you can glean from it, it does go back to talking about draft. Because if you look at both of these teams, especially Philadelphia, their last 5 drafts have been so good, and you start to profit from your drafts 3, 4, and 5 years down the road. And the Patriots still might be a little bit with their pockets turned out from their drafts over the last 3 or 4 years. It's going to take a while.
So, Tom, I'm in an especially good mood today because I'm excited about all things Patriots, Celtics, and especially Red Sox right now. And piggybacking off of that optimism, I wanted to see if you sort of agreed with this sentiment that our pal Mike Reese put out earlier today. He wrote, thinking out loud, R.E., how Red Sox Alex Bregman relates to Patriots and free agency. Sometimes you have to pay more, especially when there is a notable talent and championship pedigree gap compared to top competitors, can still be strategic in doing so on the short term. Hashtag let it rip. I couldn't agree more, and I know you have basically coined the suck tax phrase. So do you feel like the Patriots could follow the Red Sox model of making a good deal like the Garrett Crochet trade, overpaying for someone you need, and kind of turning things around in an offseason?
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about the last couple of days. And when we did our show email today, I said, you have to look at, who can the Patriots do a Bregman deal with. I look at guys like Davante Adams. Maybe he would be amenable to coming back and working with McDaniels. He's 33 years old. But to me, if you really look at Davante Adams and consider him as a prospect, and if you don't get T. Higgins, or if you do get T. Higgins, and you say, you know what, we're gonna go to 35 for T. Higgins, even though Justin Jefferson's at 34, we're going to 35. Hell, you know what, we'll go to 37. We don't care because we're going to convince this guy to come here. I don't think that there's really anything wrong with that, to chase your white whale, because right now you have gained a level of, after a second 4-13 season, you've generated more optimism because of the guy that you took at number 3 and his upside. And you've generated more optimism because there's an experienced head coach as opposed to folks holding their breath about how things they hope will turn out. So strike while the iron's hot. You have $136 million allocated right now against the cap. The cap's going to be $250. Splurge, one guy, one time, do it. And I think that they will. I think that they should. And I got way more to say, but I'm going to go because I've been going for 45 seconds or a minute and a half here.
NBC Sports Tom Curran joining us here on WEEI Afternoons. Those are the guys that could be coming in, but I'm assuming right now part of the process that's going on is Mike Vrabel's learning everybody on the roster, and Ryan Cowden's being brought up to speed, and they're figuring out who they might want to keep. Are there any guys you think, Tom Curran, that we think of as foundational pieces they'll be building around that might actually not be here? Maybe even some of the guys they re-signed last offseason. Do you think we'll get any wow departures at any point this offseason?
The chance exists. I think that there might be. You have to scrutinize those signings you made, because if we're going to talk about, cornerstone-type players, who are the Patriots' true cornerstone, can't part with them type players? Gonzalez and May.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
yes,
it.
That's it.
You could smuggle in Hunter Henry under the wire. I don't know if you're going to, because of his cost and his leadership and his production, all have been really good. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you could say that with Barmore, for instance. And I hope that he gets healthy, but I don't know if you can say that with him. Mm-hmm. I think Kyle Duggar is a very good player. I don't think his cap hit at $14 million makes it unmanageable. I think it's 14. But that leaves us with Onwenu, Barmore, Stevenson, Godshaw. I don't think any of those guys would be beyond the reach of the Patriots looking at it and saying, that's too much for you.
But you wouldn't predict it? You wouldn't predict it necessarily?
No, I'm not predicting. No, okay. I'm not predicting
people
leaving jobs without talking to anybody. I don't. But, I mean, anything that's not nailed down could go.
Okay, gotcha.
Hey, Tom, it's way too early for this, but you're buckle in because this is going to be you 24/7 until at the end of April.
Sure.
Draft talk and in the number 4th overall pick, and you watch that game, that Super Bowl, and you just go, man, that offensive line for KC was really having issues all night. And huge reason that I think Patrick Mahomes got spooked early in that game. And then you look at that other side and you go, man, those elite pass rushers, oh, my gosh, wow, those are great. It was interesting. Scar earlier this week said that he's called himself old school, and that he thinks that, that pick, 4th overall, maybe shouldn't be an offensive lineman. He should go maybe, edge rusher or weapon on offense. I mean, what – Any idea like what they're thinking there? I mean, is it as simple as Will Campbell's the best offensive left tackle available at that time, and so they get him? Or I mean, is there? Could you see them doing something like trading back, getting more draft picks?
Sure.
What's your vibe on the draft at this point? Way too early.
Just for Scar, I would say this with great respect to one of the greatest coaches of all time. I'm not sure if he's speaking generally or relative to this particular draft. I'm going to guess he's talking generally saying, hey, if you're at 4 and you're looking at an offensive lineman, don't you want to take somebody who can score touchdowns or pressure the passer? And yep, you would.
Yeah.
But all drafts aren't created equal. So the 4th overall pick this year might not have gone until 14 or 15 last year because of the quarterbacks. So with that in mind, yeah, you'd like to trade back, but who wants to come up to 4 to take Jalen Milroe or Shadur Sanders, for instance? So I think it's easier in this draft to find somebody who can pressure the passer than you can say that guy's going to be a Pro Bowl, borderline All-Pro lineman for us.
So
I keep
Tom,
coming back to a weird spot.
Pause.
Tight end.
Ooh, the Penn State kid?
I love it. Where
Penn State
Michigan kid, Penn State, both, Texas.
Penn State kid, the Michigan kid. They're both in the top 10. It was Warren and Loveland. So those, look at Brock Bowers, look at George Kittle, look at Kelsey, look at Gronk, look at Laporta, look at Hawkinson, look all over the friggin' NFL. Kyle Pitts should have been a beast by now, but he hasn't been. Ted McMillan's not what you would want to go over the moon for, and you're not even sure that Travis Hunter is a wide receiver or a cornerback. He's a brilliant player, but what are you going to do with him? I mean, you'll find something. But to me, I look at those tight ends, and if you could secure one of them, I don't care if you have to move around, be inventive. That's not my problem. But if you want a touchdown scorer and a helper for not maybe just your offensive line, but certainly Drake May primarily, look at the tight ends.
So, Tom, I was going to ask you, but you kind of just answered my question, which I think can lead to a convenient wrap-up, but just sort of to confirm your feelings. So, Travis Hunter has announced that he's going to compete in the Combine, but as a cornerback. So, does that – I mean, to me, that would sort of back off my – I don't think the Patriots need to be taking as good a talent as he is, even if I have a BPA, best player available belief. Do you want to be taking a cornerback at 4?
In a vacuum, no. No, definitely not. You want to have you don't want to be on the hook for in 3 years. Oh, good, we're spending $27 million each per year, $54 million on our 2 shutdown corners, which is great. But if you don't have a pass rush because they have to run around back there for 8 seconds, that's not helping you.
Right.
So to me, Travis Hunter can work out wherever he wants to, but it is still, a system that they draft you and tell you where you're going to play. You have to have a conversation with the kid so you don't draft somebody who walks in pissed off and says, I'm not playing that position. But I think corner is his better position than wide receiver, but you can still put a package together offensively for him. And I think you would be crazy if you didn't do that. But does Vrabel envision that possibility? Does Cowden and Elliott Wolf there?
Was that a little Elliott? Was that a
little
Elliott Wolf there? Tom, before I let you go here, this just popped into my head. I don't know if you've ever believed in the idea that the other teams in Boston motivate each other. Cool. And is there any chance that not only the issues they've had in recent years, but the Celtics are rolling, they have the best roster in basketball, even the Red Sox just spent, and you got John Henry smoking a cigar to celebrate Alex Bregman. Could that influence the Patriots to do what you said earlier, overspend, put in a little extra money for a guy like T. Higgins or whoever it may be? Could there be a little push there? I
don't think that would be any kind of – but if they're winning championships because of it and they're thumbing their nose at you, but they're microscopically less appetizing for consumers than the Patriots are. I mean, at least you can name some Patriots off the top of your head at this point. So to me, no, I don't think that would be when they're really good. I think it's definitely a factor, but they got enough problems. Keep your head on your book, Patriots. Don't be looking up and seeing what's going on around the room. Head down.
Head down, just like Tom E. Curran joins us each and every Thursday, 3:30. Great job today, Tom. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
See you, bud.
Thanks, Tom. Tom E. Curran with WEEI Afternoons is brought to you by Drains by James, Eastern Mass's top provider of drain and sewer cleaning and repair, and by Wise Snacks. No one does crunchy, salty, or cheesy better than Wise Snacks.